How to grieve when you lose a dog. I got a message, and we get more messages. I'm gonna show you too, because I don't, I clearly, I don't be lying. It ain't my practice. I don't like to practice it though. Well, I think I did it on this phone actually. Let me get my other phone. But a guy reached out and I didn't respond. I'm telling you the truth, I didn't. That would be a lie. But he said, I thought I screenshotted that. Oh, here it is. He said, hey, you can see the message there. Hey, I just put down my bully today. I have no other dogs. What are some ways you could advise me to cope with this loss? Listen. I was not aware of what it would feel like to lose a dog, believe it or not. I'm used to losing animals and dogs and all kinds of things. And I don't know that it would affect me to this day, to like right now so much, if I didn't have to look at Maestro. The challenge is we built this thing off of a dog who was super important to me. And I'm gonna get to the grieving in a second. So, we cover some points. And in this loss, not only does it suck in general, but I did a lot of work to make sure that dog was tip top. For me. I'm not comparing him. I don't even know what other people do with their dogs, but for me, that he was a good dog. And I grew up hard. And not hard like it was tough. It wasn't easy, but I grew up with the struggle like everybody else that looks like me a lot of times. And hopefully if you look like me, you're living a great life. But I grew up suffering. And this felt no different. I told you, Marcus, he said, he asked one time, how you doing? I think Stan saw me cry about it a little bit. And I just was telling Stan to do better or something. And so it triggered an emotion. And I'm just like, because I was, I'm so used to losing. But if I had to give you some advice about coping with the loss, first thing you want to do in losing anything is honor it. The best way to honor it doesn't mean go and get another dog, but get out and be about life. Go on a walk, spend some time in the sun, go hiking, get around friends, be around family, get around those people who care. There's nothing worse than coming back to this home and Ego's not at the door. Just so we're clear. This was the first time in a long time I got into a place where I was like, man, my dogs are going to be good for once. I haven't had a home, for those that don't know, in over 15 years. I've been surviving. For those that have watched, I've been in backyards, garages, apartments. I've survived for a long time. And this is the first time in 15 plus years where I have a place I can kind of call home. And then I said, my dogs are going to be good for once. I don't have to worry anymore about where they're going to be and are they going to be okay. And the first thing that happens, I ain't even been here a year yet. The best dog I got, and it's for me. Ego's not a stud in terms of producing, and he was just my guy. He's gone. He's gone. So for one, thank that man for reaching out and asking the question. Two, I gotta be honest, I don't know how to answer it. Three, the best thing that kind of keeps me going are these puppies. Joker and Maestro, if I didn't have them, as I said, these dogs are not my dogs. I've got a lot of dogs, but I don't even want to talk about it no more. It's like this. Ego's gone. I don't care. You go through that. You get 2 more pups, you start getting back into your process, you start getting more encouraged. You think about why you started this, because it was never about ego, but it was about impacting the world of pet health and how we define ourselves and the work we have to do. But how do you deal or cope with the loss of a dog? Unfortunately, they're not here as long as we're here. They're never going to be. If you spent the time that I spent with Ego, with your dog, losing a dog, it isn't easy. But the best part about having the dog is it probably gave your life a little bit more meaning as you grew with the dog. And you go, well, I didn't know that I needed the dog. And technically it all started with Czar. I got back in antsy, trying to get in and compete and create some magic. And man, I got a breeder. I'm going to impact the bully world. And because I couldn't rush, I had to learn with the dog, train the dog, take care of the dog, pray with the dog, feed the dog, work with the dog, love the dog. And you know what that taught me is to care a little bit more about everything. And realistically, if it hadn't been for the journey I went on with Zara, it probably would suck more, losing Ego. But it sucks less because of how much growth for me personally, human-wise, took place over the past 6 years, working with dogs, meeting great people, and bettering the dog world. So the question is coming from clearly a good place where someone feels safe and confident. And I watched, your man's best friend, and I don't know if I could keep going if I was you, but you have to, because all of you are here to learn as much as I can teach and stick with us on the journey as we try to build things that impact the dog world. But coping 101. There's 7 stages of grieving. You're going to go through it all. There are going to be days you don't feel like getting out the bed and doing nothing. There are going to be days where you feel like quitting. There's going to be a day for me every day where you walk in and he's not here. And those are the days that suck. Is when you wish, hey man, how's it going? He's not here. He's the only other one that could be in the bed and bother me. And he had so much privilege. And it was a privilege to know him. So if I'm going to cope, the best way to cope is to live. Okay? The best way to cope is to live, to surround yourself with good people, create a mission bigger than yourself, and do your best. Like, I don't have the best words for this one. I can only tell you, something popped up on my thing, and Billy Bob, he's a goofy dude, but he lost his brother when he was a kid. And he said, Billy, he said, you never get over it. And here's the thing, I don't know that type of love between humans and friends and family to hurt that way, where I'm like 30 years later, I'm still struggling with the loss of my brother or dad or mom, grandpa or grandma. Like I never learned that. So I don't know. So one thing that these dogs are teaching me is how to be more human-like, more caring, more driven, more purposeful, mourning and coping. Don't go to drugs. Go to the gym. You're a church person, go to the church, pick up your Bible, read something, cook, learn something new, build. I do the Lego thing. There's a lot of stuff that I do, people. But let me be very clear. If you didn't hear nothing I said in The Man's Best Friend, if you're coping with the loss of a dog, had it been year 5, it probably would have messed me up even worse. But I still was like, I'll be fine. It was only year 3. We were just getting good. But to watch his son and all the people who have fancied Ego fall in love with everything that we do, and 200 plus messages about just saying sorry, and even people saying, I know you said you'll be okay, and you don't got to tell sorry for your loss, but I just feel like I gotta say something. Sorry for your loss, man. Because somebody was like, guys, it's okay. I'll be all right. I hate my guys gone. But people felt compelled to at least still say, I hate that you lost Ego. I'm like, shit, who you telling? Nobody hated more than me. But thank you. And believe it or not, I'm super grateful. But let me be very clear. If you're coping, one of my rules is very simple. You've got to stay moving. And it even goes back to a verse that I did the other day. One of Jesus's disciples. This is crazy. I'm glad it's right here. Matthew chapter 8. Go to, just read the chapter to be clear. Don't ever cut it short. The disciple basically says, matter of fact, the subtitle is The Cost of Discipleship. So you ask yourself, what does it cost to walk with Jesus? And now when Jesus saw the great multitudes about him, he gave the command to depart to the other side. Then a certain scribe came and said to him, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. People like me say, is that right? Well, I'm about to go beyond it now. You can hang? Yeah, I can hang. I'd be like this, we'll put that theory to the test. And Jesus said to him, foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Do you know what that means? It's in red, right? Which means I'm going to stay moving regardless of us not having a bed, not having a home, because I'm on a mission. Everybody else got a bed and a home. That's why this hit so hard for me yesterday. Everybody has something to call their own. I don't have that. All I've got is 2 good legs and an opportunity, and I have to complete my task. Then another of his disciples said to him, Lord, let me first go and bury my father. But Jesus said to him, follow me and let the dead bury their own. Basically, shut the hell up. You said you wanted to follow me. He's dead now. We have to move forward. There's nothing we can do about it. Now when he got into a boat, his disciples followed him. He said, how do I cope? Let me make sure I'm actually feeding the animal in me, feeding the spirit in me, because I was raised on that good book. So let me read it again. I've read it a few times. And then let me make sure I double down and learn how to pour into people, continue to take care of the dogs and all the other stuff. Coping's not easy. I would be lying if I said it was, because I don't know how to. What I would tell you is, I'm doing better today than I was yesterday. And if you keep living, you will too, man. Take care of yourself.